Chapter number 4, Moving Charges and Magnetism. In the previous video, we have studied and covered these number of topics. That is, first is Oersted experiment in detail we have studied, about swimming rule, about magnetic field, and magnetic field is also known as magnetic field strength, flux density, etc. We have studied about the Lorentz force, which is magnetic, and the Lorentz electromagnetic force, including electric field. We have studied about the definition of magnetic field and the direction of magnetic field with the help of right hand thumb rule as well as Maxwell's corkscrew rule. We have learnt about the direction of force, which we can find with the help of Fleming's left hand rule and right hand palm rule. We have also seen that the magnetic field is denoted by dot when it is out of the plane of a paper and by cross when it is into the plane of paper. We have also learned about Biot-Savart law. So now let's study about comparison of Biot-Savart's law. We use Biot-Savart's law for magnetic field and Coulomb's law for electrostatic field. Let's compare them. First comparison is Biot-Savart's law obeys inverse square law. That is, magnetic field is given by ideal sine theta by r square. Here it also obeys inverse square law. Force is given by k q1 q2 by r square. Next comparison is it obeys superposition principle. That is, magnetic field of a source is the vector sum of magnetic field due to individual source. Similarly, Coulomb's law also obeys superposition principles. Electric field or force is at a particular point is the vector sum of each individual source or force. Third is magnetic field is produced by a vector source, and that vector source is I into dl vector. This is the length element and its direction is along the direction of current. Electric field is produced by a scalar source, that is electric charge. Given by Q. Next is, in Biot-Savart's law, we use constant in free space, that is known as permeability in free space. Mu naught, known as permeability of free space, and its value is equal to mu naught equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Here the constant used for force is equal to, in free space, permittivity of free space and its value is equal to 8.85 into 10 raised to the power minus 12. And unit is Coulomb square per Newton per meter square. And the last point is Biot-Savart law is angle dependent. That is angle between ideal and position vector r. Coulomb's law is angle independent. That is, force between 2 point charges does not depend on any angle between them. Now let's study another topic, that is magnetic force. On a current carrying conductor. We have studied that when a point charge, let Q, is moving with velocity v in a uniform magnetic field, then it will experience a magnetic force given by Lorentz force, and its value is given as charge into velocity cross magnetic field. Here we will calculate the value of magnetic force by a current carrying conductor, experienced by a current carrying conductor. Here current carrying conductor we are taking as a straight rod. Which has some considerable size and length. And this is, let us suppose, having area A and length L, and it is placed along x-axis, and the magnetic field is along xy plane. Thus, the angle between magnetic field and length of a conductor or x-axis is let theta, and the current is flowing from positive electrode to negative electrode in this way. Current is I, magnetic field, length, now here we are taking mobile charge carriers as electrons, and electrons are moving with drift velocity. Drift velocity is that average velocity with which the electron is moving from one end to the other end, that is from negative to positive end, by the influence of external electric field. And here we are considering the external magnetic field by which the current carrying conductor is experiencing a force. Here we are not taking into account the magnetic field produced by this current carrying conductor. Here let electrons are mobile charge carriers, that is movement are because of electrons, and charge on each electron is minus E. Drift velocity is Vd. Thus, the magnetic force experienced by each electron is given as minus E Vd cross B vector. Now, if small n is the number density of electrons and density is given as mass upon volume. Therefore, number density is equal to total number of free electrons and these electrons are, let us denote it by capital N, per unit volume of a conductor. Unit volume is, let us denote it by capital V. Here, as V is given as, volume is given as area into length, therefore total number of free electrons N can be written as small n number density into volume. This is equation number 2. Now the total force experienced by a current carrying conductor because of the movement of electron is equal to total number of free electrons into the magnetic force experienced by each electron. And from equation number 2, it is equal to NAL, and Fm from equation number 1, it is minus E Vd cross B. With equation number 3. Now, in current electricity, that is in chapter number 3, we have studied the relation between current and drift velocity, that is equal to I equivalent to N E A drift velocity. Now multiply both sides by length of a conductor and take IL as IL vector. Here IL vector is current element which has its direction along the direction of current. Therefore, we can write IL vector equal to NEA Vd vector. Now, here the direction of current element is along the direction of current, but its direction is opposite to the direction of drift velocity, that is the motion or movement of electron. Thus, we will write negative on this side. Now, here we can see that IL vector equivalent to minus NEA VDL, NEA VDL. Therefore, now let's substitute in equation number 3 IL vector. Thus, magnetic force will become I current element cross B vector. This is the magnetic force experienced by a current carrying conductor in a uniform magnetic field. In terms of magnitude, it can be written as Fm equal to BIL sin theta. Here theta is the angle between current element and magnetic field, and if theta is 0 degree or 180 degree. This we have also studied in Lorentz force. Then if theta is equals to 0 or 180 degree, then force will become 0. As sine 0 or 180 is 0, therefore the force experience will be minimum. And when theta equal into 90 degree, that is the angle between magnetic field and current element is 90 degree, then the force experienced by a conductor will be maximum. These are the cases when we are talking about a current carrying conductor which is a straight conductor. If the conductor is not straight and have any arbitrary shape, then and if it is moving in a uniform magnetic field, if the conductor has any arbitrary shape, other than straight one, then the magnetic force experienced by a small length element is equal to, given in differential form, df equal to I dl vector cross b vector, and the total force experience is equal to the total force by the whole conductor, total force experienced by whole conductor is the integration of df vector. If we are talking about large number of small elements, if the numbers are fixed, then we can use summation. But if it is large number of small, very small elements, then we will use integration. It is equal to integration over I dl cross r, dl cross b vector. Here I is constant, so we can also write it in magnitude form. F is equal into BIL sine theta.